And we're back. John Delarose here, the leading Hispanic voice in science fiction. I'm going to do another Periscope. I might do a couple today. I want to get my comic shop's reaction on the new Marvel editor-in-chief, but I just thought about this right now. I was going to blog about it, but you know, I don't like to use my wrists for blogging as much as I can, so we're going to do the Periscope on this. I actually made a big mistake in my draft of Baron von Monocle 2, which I was writing for National Novel Writing Month. And I'm going to share that with you. And I've already fixed it. But it's this is why it's good to find these things during drafts. But there's a big thing about building tension and storytelling, which goes back to, I mean, everybody says show, don't tell, right? But it's really hard to actually get concrete examples of that a lot of the time. And so I actually have a concrete example of where I failed at this, and I corrected it before anybody can see it. So basically, I had a situation where I have my main character. This isn't really a spoiler, but I have my main character who keeps being told. At first, she gets told that if she doesn't cooperate, she's going to get beaten and interrogated, and it's going to be terrible. And then as I had the progression go on, as the tension builds and as problems go up, she keeps thinking about, oh, well, I've never seen anybody beaten and interrogated, but with how all these people work so hard and don't question this evil bad dude, I'm inclined to not go against his word or whatever. This is my non-spoiler way of saying it, right? So she does that throughout the book, and finally got to an escalated point where she's having a confrontation with the main bad guy, and he threatens it again, and she's just like, I don't want to deal with that. Well, I realized after I wrote that, I've got a problem here in that I've told you over and over and over again that it will be very severe, yet everything you've seen on screen so far is that the bad guy actually is pretty reasonable and hasn't actually hurt anybody. So when you do that and you take what it does is it takes the tension out of the whole deal, because you're not actually showing something bad, and it's a very easy fix. It's a very easy thing just to take a scene, have him come in and show him totally torturing some poor soul who disrespected him or whatnot. And from that point forward, you can have her think about that whole scene because the reader remembers it, and it builds the tension a lot higher because she has a really legitimate reason to worry at that point that he's going to do something to her that's going to be equally as bad. And I think when you want to build tension, you really want to get that threat to be a big level where hey, maybe he's actually going to do that. I haven't gotten to that point yet in the story, but it's all about showing that the villain does something bad and that it's going to be a threat to your hero. And if you don't actually show that, you're going to be removing the tension very badly from your book, and there's no reason to do that. If anything, the rule of thumb is I would always amplify the tension if I can. I would always amplify the danger if I can, because the greater the danger and the greater the tension, just the more invested somebody's going to be in the story every single time. It doesn't matter if it's over the top. I would err on the side of being over the top rather than trying to be subtle about it, because you'll create a more dynamic book when you do that. And that's it. It's a very simple thing. There's my example. Do your best to create tension, show, don't tell, and that's the bottom line here today. Thanks for joining me.